welcome to the Sequoya show. Yeah, the Sequoya show. I said, welcome to the Sequoya show. Look, the Sequoya show. Okay, welcome to the Sequoya show. Yeah, the Sequoya show. She's the original individual, metaphysical, speaking to her spiritual. Thoughts are way too critical. She creating miracles. Promise she gon' get to you. Only affected by a few. Beginning to her chronicles. Maybe we'll get logical. Logically, she probably tell the truth through honesty. Welcome to the show. Y'all family.
Y'all family.
Y'all family.
Welcome back to the show. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and happy holidays to everyone out there tonight. So I wanted to bring this topic up, learning to trust again, because that's a difficult thing for many people to do, including myself once upon a time. The show has started out 4 seasons ago, which means 4 years ago. And I had the vision to do a talk show. And so when I got this idea and I was very passionate about it, I also had some doubts because I didn't know whether I was going to be capable of delivering what it was that I had in my heart to give to people who went through similar things that I've gone through, or worse or less. I didn't know if I was capable. In other words, I didn't trust my own capabilities. I didn't trust myself. I also needed to have different people help me with the situation, and I needed to reveal my ideas to certain people or to people in general in order to even get an idea of, you know, what I may need to do to request assistance with the show. And it's not just the show. It's like with my books. It's with just meeting new people. You know, I've been through certain things in my life where trust isn't an easy thing for me to do. Well, wasn't an easy thing for me to do. The way I grew up, where I grew up, relationships, just a plethora of things that I just, you know, didn't trust too many people, which I'm sure is the same thing for many of you that's here tonight. So welcome back, and I hope you're ready to learn some new things about trust. Now, also, from the beginning of the show, we had a certain order of the way things went. Therefore, that means that, okay, we first spoke about what unleashing a power within was about. What does it mean to tap into the real you? What the real you was. And then on the next show, we went into how bitterness, anger, and hatefulness strips you of your power, you know, how it's not good for you. We also went into how unforgiveness strips you of your power. And then we talked about fear versus faith. Now, there was a reason for that order in the way each title went for each show. And that's because it all ties into each other. Just like all of those things tie into this title, Learning to Trust Again. Because, you know, if you're hateful and you're holding bitterness in your heart towards other people, of course, you know, you're not going to trust those same people, and you're not going to trust other people in the future due to that same hurt that you've experienced with other people. And then if you're not forgiving, you know, it's hard for you to forgive again, so you don't know who to trust because you've gone through certain things. And then there's that thing called fear. Fear plays a lot into this entire topic as well, trust. And I can't wait till we go on throughout the show, which we only have 2 more shows left. So, and the show concludes in December for this season, but it all ties in, and our last show is about love. So all of this stuff ties into each show. It ties into each other. So I'm going to take a moment first to see what's going on with my chat room, because I see, oh, okay, I see the social media. Okay. Hey, Pat. Hey, you have been here in the chat room. So I also want to tell everyone too that if you log on with your username and password from Facebook or Twitter or through Ustream, you will be able to ask questions in the chat room. You'll enter the chat room or the social stream. That's where most people are, in the social stream. I will be clicking back and forth between the chat room and the social stream, but if you can just enter through the social stream, that'd be wonderful. But I'll click back and forth to see, so that I can ask your questions for you. If you have questions that you want to ask our guests, or that you want to ask myself, or statements that you want to make, I'll read them from the chat room. Also, the most live chat room person, the person that's just, has the best questions, who has been here, who's, just been in the chat room turning things up for us, we will definitely be sending you a gift as well. So it's never too late. It's not too late to enter into the chat room. You can ask as many questions as you need. Also, if you just want to watch the show and you don't want to sign in and log on, that's fine too, because we want you to feel comfortable and let you know that this is a private thing for you as well. If this is private for you, that's fine too. I just appreciate you being here. We all do. So tonight's guest, Kenneth Holman, I'm very excited that he's going to be on the show tonight. He has a lot of wisdom to share when it comes to this title, and everything happens for a reason, because I met Kenneth through one of my co-workers, Shelby Walker. Hi Shelby, shouting you out. And he's her mentor, and Shelby is a wonderful person, and we have different talks at work about various things, and she'll say, well, my mentor said this, or she'll say, that's the same thing that my mentor said. So I was sitting next to her and I said, hey, do you think that your mentor would like to be a guest on the show? And she said, I'm not sure, but I'll ask him. And he contacted me and said he would love to be here to inspire everyone else. He has an extensive background. He has a lot of wisdom to share. And I just hope you get everything that you need tonight regarding this topic. Let me just say, thank you, Pat. It's my Aunt Star's birthday, and I want to say happy birthday, Aunt Star. And if you're watching, I love you. And thank you for watching, of course. So now, also, I want to just say this. I want to thank everyone who has been here sponsoring us on the Sequoia show this season. The love is tremendous, and I feel it. And not only are you helping me get the word out about the show, you're also helping everyone else enjoy the show. Number one, as I always do, shout out to Kim Sewell. You can see her work on her Facebook page. I am Kim Sewell. That's I, the letter I, am Kim, K-I-M, Sewell, S-E-W-E-L-L. That's her Facebook page. You can reach out to her. Any of the flyers that you've seen come across Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, email, text, that's because of Kim. She said that I want to help you. I want to do your flyer for your social media campaign. And she has done a wonderful job with each host pictures, each guest pictures, the co-host, Lynn, and my picture as well. And the flyers are just fabulous. So thank you, Kim. Also, I am wearing a Sequoia Show t-shirt. Can you see it? I'm so excited about it. And I also got this hand towel to go with it. So I got this I want to say 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and I want to thank Wear My T-shirt. You can find them at Wear My Shirt, not Wear My T-shirt. Wear My Shirt. You can find them at iwearmyshirt.com. They do a wonderful job. I'm going to include a t-shirt in the gift that we send to the chat room guests. So I may do one or two. So make sure you get it in the chat room. But thank you so much. I want to thank Kasim Hall. Went to school with him. He is with this company, and I definitely appreciate it. Okay, so and Phantom BLK. I cannot pronounce the username, but that's my family, and I want to say thank you. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you and your boldness, because you asked a question here that helped other people as well, because I got different responses from your question because other people are going through it too. So please feel free to ask your questions. Okay? All right. So let's talk a little bit about this topic. Let me just introduce something really quick. Fear. Okay. You've gone through certain things in your life. So have I. We all go through certain things. And one thing about trust, it coincides with fear, which fear is what? A negative. It's a negative because we get hurt. We either get hurt or we get disappointed because people let us down, or it was something that made us just angry. We put ourselves in a situation and opened ourselves up. We let people into our lives and it just didn't go the way we expected. So what we did was, after that situation occurred, we said, I'm never gonna let this happen again. I don't trust anyone. You can't trust anyone. Then you hear other people, you may have grown up this way, where they say, there's no one you can trust. Well, I'm here to let you know that I've gone through the same thing. And having that type of mentality blocked me from so many blessings. So many doors were closed and shut tight and would not open up because of my trust issues. I went through abuse, and then I said, I don't trust anyone is genuinely there for me, and everyone was out to hurt me. That was a big problem because not everyone was out to hurt me. And then I learned that we were all created not to do the same thing as one another, but for all different reasons. We are all a part of one body. And just like the hand has a certain function and picks up things and does things, and then you have the fingers attached to this hand and it points and it touches and it feels different things, and then you have your feet that get you to and from certain destinations. They don't do the same thing. Sure, some people are very talented and they pick up things with their toes, okay? We all have those people in our family, and we all have those friends who do those things, and it seems like awesome and amazing. But the feet is used to move us from one place to another. Because if we only had ankles, tell me how easy or how difficult would that be to get from point A to B? People do it. People don't give up, and they don't make excuses, and they make it work. And they use wheelchairs, and they use walkers, and they use other prosthetic legs with feet attached to it. So the feet was put on our body for a reason. We have legs for a reason. We have a stomach for a reason. We have a mouth for a reason. And it's all a part of one body. It is the same thing with me, with you, with all of us. We were not put here in this world, on this earth, to be alone. To say, I'm not going to deal with anyone because I don't trust them, because they hurt me and they let me down. Okay? But we are all here for specific reasons, and we all have different gifts and talents that are supposed to coincide with one another, just like each part and organ of our body. One thing does not work without the other. Can you have a brain and live without a heart? I don't think so. And if you know anyone like that, please let me know, because I would love to meet them. No, it's not possible. And can we have a heart without a brain? I mean, what type of life would that be? Okay, sure, we can have a full body without hands and without an arm and stuff, but we have other members of our bodies that help us still get along when we fall short. And that's the same thing. So if I felt like, Sequoya, okay, you're doing this show by yourself. Either way, I have help with this show. Whether it's Kim making my flyers, whether it's Kasim and his business making the shirts, whether it's you watching the show, because without you there would be no show. Without the chat room there would be no, liveness in the show. I wouldn't have anybody asking questions, making statements. The chat room makes the show. Without Lynn as my co-host, I wouldn't have a different side of the show. And without these guests, all you would hear is me talking 24/7 throughout the entire show, and trust me, you would get tired of it. And I would get tired of talking. So we have different perspectives. Without these people who join me on the show, without you, I wouldn't have a show. So number one, thank you. And number two, I want to thank you for being a part of this body of a vision, because you helped create it. Same thing with people in your life. You are going to have to understand that you don't put your trust in the person, because people will let you down, because none of us are perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm going to disappoint you at times. I might say I'm putting out my book, which I have. I might say the release is April 2014. But honestly, I'm human. I have other things going on sometimes that come up at the last minute, and I can't put the book out until July. Sure, I still deliver, but it still wasn't when you expected it. And it may have not been when you needed it. I'm not perfect. Therefore, you have to put your trust in your Creator, in God, because He's the one who's going to bring what you need to you. Also, some things, you've all heard this. It lasts for a reason. There's a reason, a season, and some things are for a lifetime. Not everybody is supposed to stay in your life. Sometimes people are brought into your life for a reason, and then they leave because they have other reasons to fulfill in other people's lives. Sometimes someone who you've seen hurt someone else might be brought into your life for you to learn something. And you might say, I'm not going to trust this person with anything I got because I've seen what they did with that other person, or they've hurt me before. Okay, sure. But it's not for you to hold on to them. It's something you're supposed to learn about yourself, or about that person, or about a situation. And anybody who's been in your life who has hurt you, it was not for no reason. You were supposed to let them go. Sometimes we hold on to people when we're supposed to let them go, and we create the hurt ourselves in our own lives. So letting go is a part of trust too, because when you let go, you're saying you trust God enough to bring in the next person you need, or that you trust Him enough to let this other person go because now it's time for you to stand on your own 2 feet. So with that being said, thank you, Pat, says you want a t-shirt. I'm going to let you all know where to get the t-shirts and stuff too. Also, okay, so let me bring on a guest because it's 8:17. Again, his name is Kenneth Holman. And he's been waiting, and he's been as excited as I am today. Hi, Kenneth. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am blessed.
I'm so excited that you're joining us tonight. I've introduced you myself, but I want you to introduce yourself to the audience and just give us a little background about you.
Okay, it would be my pleasure. First of all, let me thank you for inviting me to be a part of the show. I invited myself.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
My name is Kenneth Holman. I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and most people think of Tennessee as a country state with just cows and cowboys and country music.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up in the inner city part of Nashville, where it was like, Chicago and New York and things of that nature. Survival of the fittest is what we were exposed to. After I left home, after graduating from high school, I joined the Marines, and I served there for 26 years. I retired, learned a lot, traveled a lot, went into corporate America after I left there with Microsoft, and now I run a network company today.
Okay, so it's interesting because you have a story just like all of us, and I like the fact that you said, most people think that, Tennessee doesn't have certain things there, because I had no clue Tennessee had projects and stuff, and I'm born and raised in the projects as well. So that's interesting. You're a regular everyday person, and that's why I brought you onto the show, as well as Shelby had wonderful things to say about you, and instantly my spirit just said that I need him to be on the show. And then when I spoke with you, I just knew that you were perfect for what we're discussing today, because people have issues with trust. So one of the questions I want to ask you first off is, what does trust, let's start backwards. What does distrust mean to you?
Well, distrust for me is a breach or break of a covenant or a contract that we have with one another. And when you break that, then you have all kinds of problems, emotional problems, to mention just a few.
Mm-hmm. And what does trust mean to you?
Trust means to me a level of confidence that you have in someone or something that everything is going to work out fine, and that person or that situation has your best interest.
And Kenneth, can you share with our audience what are some examples of a person feeling like they could never trust again, and could you give us a reason why they would feel like, it could be emotional, it could be whatever, why they would feel like they just can't trust again? Because some people, they don't trust people, but they don't really even understand the root of why they're not trusting anymore, period.
That's a good statement and a good concern. One of the problems that we have is, we have a lot of confidence and we open ourselves up to people, and that makes us vulnerable. And then when they misuse our trust, whether it's intentionally or unintentional, it kicks in our defense mechanism. And we don't have the confidence in someone else because we don't want to be hurt. And we are constantly reminded of that pain that this person has inflicted on us, whether directly or indirectly. So we kick in our defense mechanism every time we in that similar situation again. The more we expose to that, the greater our distrust becomes, and we're less likely to open ourselves up. No one wants to be scarred emotionally. We talk about physical pain, but emotional pain carries deeper scars than wounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pat said, "Hi, Kenneth," and I switched over to the chat, and Twerkin Bacon, that's a username, said that you're doing a great job. So, okay, you're absolutely correct. It does present a lot of those barriers. What would be, okay, before we go into your advice for people to start, learning to trust again, I like to let the audience get a feel of why they should listen to who the guest is. Can you give us an example or something that occurred in your life, or not even occurred, or why you would be the best guest for this topic? Why are you a good guest for this topic of trust?
Okay, I think that's a valid question. And one of the things is the lifestyle that I grew up in, or the environment that I grew up in. I watched people get shot right in front of my face, women being abused on a regular basis. I myself experienced some personal abuse as a child by family members. And, it really scarred me in relationships. I really didn't want to have an intimate relationship because of the things that I went through. But one of the key aspects for me was my faith in God. I was exposed to that at an early age. And the essence of faith gave me the hope that I needed to get back trust. Understanding that trust can always be breached again somewhere down the road. But if I knew if I held to God's unchanging hand, He would get me through it.
And that's what I said right before I brought you on, that we as a people or human beings need to understand that human beings are imperfect. So there are things that we're going to do that's going to disappoint someone else. Therefore, our trust does not need to lie in the human being, which is easier said than done, but it needs to rely and reside in God, and the trust that, and the faith, like we discussed in our last show with fear versus faith, that He's going to bring the right people in the right situations and circumstances into our lives, whether we view it as good or bad, but there's something that we can learn from each experience, and that He's going to bring the people that we need for whatever task it is that we're presented with.
I agree 100% with that.
So now, Kenneth, how did you begin to start to overcome the issue of lacking trust?
Well, one of the things that helped me the most is I was always told to surround myself with positive thinking people, spiritually minded people. And they kept assuring me that it's going to be okay. But one of the most important things that they shared with me is no one is perfect. It's not always going to work out, but it's going to be okay in the end. And as a child, child, I didn't really understand that. And what they meant by that is there's going to come a time when all the pain and suffering is going to end, and then there's life eternally. And that's what we have to strive for.
That's right. That's right. How, what does that statement mean to you today? Like, what, as a child, you couldn't grasp it. And if you were to break it down in layman's terms for someone who just needed it, like, plain and simple, what does that mean?
I think the simplest way I can explain it is, you know, we have tangibles and intangibles. We focus on the tangible things, and it's the intangible things that we really focus on. Don't put your trust and confidence in man. Man, you know, will disappoint you. Put your trust and confidence in God. And the analogy I use for people today is the slogan from Allstate. And they tell you that they're good hands people, but if you have an accident, they'll drop you. God will never drop you.
That's right. I like that. I love that. Now, we have some people who are in the audience today who says, okay, that's easier said than done. You haven't gone through exactly what I've gone through. You haven't been let down. I've opened up so many times and let those walls down. I put trust in God, my trust in God. I'm still not feeling this whole trust stuff. I've been let down too many times. I'm alone. I don't know what else to do. If I don't do it myself, it's not going to get done. What would you say to that person?
What I would say to that person is, there's a book I read many years ago, Get Out of Your Mind and Get Into Your Life. And we're conditioned and wired to believe what our brain tells us. And I'll give you an analogy if I could. If I told your audience today to get up tomorrow morning, take a glass, and throughout the course of the day, just spit in that glass until it fills up. And at the end of the day, drink that spit or that saliva. Most of the audience would say, you know, oh, that's nasty, I wouldn't do that. But guess what? You swallow all day long. You have to have that saliva to live. But our brain tells us that that's not good, it's nasty. So we buy into what our brain has conditioned us for. So my advice would be, and it's not, you're right, it's not easy, and it takes time, but get out of your mind and get into your life.
I love it. Get out your mind and get into your life. So that's so true, because our brain instantly says, that's nasty. I'm not going to drink a cup of saliva the next day after it's been in a cup. But you're absolutely right. We swallow that same saliva every day, and our bodies need it. So we have to change our thinking about trust, about love, about forgiveness, about holding grudges and bitterness. What does it do to you? How harmful is... Okay, first let's do this. Why is it important to learn to trust again?
Well, what happens is if you don't learn to trust again, then you're carrying around extra weight. You know, you're burdening down yourself with worrying about, you know, if I open up again, this person's going to hurt me. If I go down that road, stuff like that. You exert a lot of energy worrying about things you really can't control. I have a real simple philosophy that I live by. And it may make you laugh, but it works for me. I can control it, I don't worry about it. If I can't control it, I don't worry about it.
Say that one more time.
If I can control it, I don't worry about it. If I cannot control it, I don't worry about it.
If I can control it, I don't worry about it. If I cannot control it, I don't worry about it.
In other words, I don't worry.
I don't worry. I love it. I love it. I don't worry. So don't worry. Now, why is it beneficial, before I ask the question, that before I make the statement from the chat room and let you comment on that, why is it beneficial? Why is trust so beneficial? I mean, why is trust even here?
Well, one of the things that the trust is, it gives us a level of insurance that something better is going to come. It goes back to the definition of faith, according to Hebrews 11:1. You know, it's the absence of the evidence, and that's what, you know, faith is all about. trust in line with that. You said something earlier about forgiveness at times, and it's that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen is you're going to, when you trust people, you're going to take away some good and you're going to take away some bad. Make yourself a filter. Get rid of the bad and maintain the good.
Mm-hmm. 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 And you know what works for me is when there is something that I see is bad, I say, what am I supposed to learn from this? And that makes it something good. And then there are some things that is just totally bad, and it's just like, the lesson I learned is just don't ever deal with a person like that again. You know, so you're absolutely correct. Okay, so in the chat room we have Pat 1934 says, "Are there some steps to help you overcome battles to trust? I struggle with this daily. It's so hard to trust anyone if you were stomped on. Your heart says yes, but never true."
Yeah, I mean, you got to find what's going to work for you. For me, you know, I have a tendency to write things down to help process what's going on. And I don't speak right away. I stop and I think, okay, why is this person doing this to me? Why is this person saying this thing to me? Does this apply to me? Is this true about me? And then I make my decision from that. And I just process one situation at a time. But once I've done those steps, I don't linger on it anymore. I let it go and I move on.
Yes, yes. And another issue, Kenneth and audience, that I think is very important here is that when we trust people, first of all, you have to learn to trust yourself. So if you don't trust that you're going to be, obviously it's difficult to trust, because it's difficult to trust other people or other situations or different things because you don't trust yourself to make the proper decision, because you feel you made a mistake the last time. So you don't want to make the same mistake again. So not only are you losing trust in the person or trusting again, you're losing trust in your decision to be able to even, you know, get around the right people, or to allow the right people into your life, or to enter into the right situations. So in my opinion, and what has worked for me, is that I had to learn to gain the confidence and the trust enough in myself, knowing that God created me for a reason, and he gives me ideas, or he gives me the opportunity to make a decision because he trusts that I can do that. And so if you can't trust in yourself, and you can't trust yourself to make the right decisions, you can't put that trust with your own life and your own circumstances into anyone else's hands. So I think that trust, just like love, just like forgiveness, it all begins with you. What do you think, Kenneth?
I agree. It does begin with you. And if you don't have the confidence in yourself and your ability, one, others are not going to believe in you either, and they're going to see it. So if you believe within yourself, that's the first step, building your level of trust with yourself to do the right thing. And then you got to understand, you're not always going to do the right thing. The Bible tells us that all have sinned, not a few, but all of us. So you're going to make mistakes. And acknowledge to yourself, okay, I made a mistake, and move forward. One of the things I went through, I was married for 3 years, and, you know, and it was struggle for me to end that. But I knew I had to align myself upward first before I could go any other direction. And upward is my relationship with God. And once I got that straight, everything fell into place.
That's right. That's right. And this is coming from not a religious point of view. This is coming from more of an intimate relationship with God. Because who else do you have that's going to be able to guide you? Who else do you have that created you, that knows you better than anyone else? Some people take faith and spirituality to a religious level where it's more traditional than anything. So what Kenneth is speaking about is having a relationship. It's like establishing a relationship with a friend. People can come and tell you as many things as they like that's bad or negative about this one person. But if you can be the type of person that says, I need to get to know this person for myself, which requires you to take the time to talk to this person, establish a certain relationship. And it's the same thing with God. People have negative things to say all of the time. People have things that they discuss about their relationship with God and their experiences, but you can't really go off of that until you develop a personal one, a intimate one, a one-on-one yourself. And then once you get with the person you created, who created you, the manufacturer of your life, then you can better understand and better and know that that's where your trust needs to be, and he's going to guide you in the right direction. It's like opening up a what's the books that come with your car, Kenneth, for you to be able to know about your car?
The owner's manual.
The manual. It's the owner's manual. So it's like getting with the person who wrote the owner's manual because they created the car, and you're getting a one-on-one conversation with them versus only reading a book. Yeah, read the book because then you get some understanding, but you also have a relationship with that person, and you have it for free. You know how hard it is to get a relationship with the person that created the car or whatever other gadget that you have. So I definitely agree with you, Kenneth. You have to have that one-on-one. It has to go upward before it can go anywhere else. Do you have anything else that you would like to offer our audience tonight regarding trust or anything else?
Yeah, I would like to, leave the audience with this, is that trust is a part of life. It's a necessity in life. There are going to be people that want to break that trust for one reason or another. But understand that you still can move forward and continue to develop trust. I had a situation recently where someone breached my trust, and I didn't want to try anymore. Mm-hmm. But then I would be denying myself true happiness.
Yeah. So what did you do in that type of instance?
Well, what I did in that situation, I remember the book that I read. I stopped relying on what my brain was telling me and said, you know what, let me go to this person, have a conversation with this person, and it turned out to be a simple misunderstanding. Mm. But, it opened up new doors, and now he and I talk on a regular basis, 2 or 3 times a day. But if I had not taken that first step to go back, swallow my pride, let that go, and address the situation, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Now, in 3, 4, 5 steps, can you give us some steps to begin our journeys, our new journeys of trust? This is going to be difficult for some people, and we know that. But what I was told by my mom was that the hardest things for you should be what you do. And that's not the words that she used, but when things are too easy, everyone is doing it. It doesn't make it that's the norm. And it's not saying that your life should be difficult or everything that you do should be difficult. But if it's difficult for you to begin and learn to trust again and take those steps, it means that there's a resistance building. And every time there's a resistance building, it's going to be more resistance hitting you back. So it's time to just let those guards down slowly, but with these steps that I'm asking Kenneth to give you, so that you can be able to have and unlock some doors for your life. There's things that you want to do, and if you don't trust people or situations or yourself, there's no way you're going to get to the level where you're desiring to be. So Kenneth, can you give us some steps to take that can just get the audience started on their new journey?
Yeah, the first step I would give the audience is love. Love yourself. And what I mean by that is, be proud of who you are, no matter what the situation is, and continue to remind yourself, that you are someone important, someone special. I have 5 daughters, and I always told them how beautiful they were, and how precious they are, and that they're a gift. So are you as an individual. The second thing I would do would be to embrace, embrace the good, embrace the bad, and take away from it things that strengthen you in whatever areas or weakness that you may have. The third thing is never give up. There's always an opportunity to make it better. And if you take those 3 basic steps, I think you'll be okay. Love, embrace, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, love, embrace, and never give up. And I think those were wonderful steps to take. Love yourself enough to know that this is something you need to do. Embrace that. You know that word embrace. I think that a few years ago, I want to say 2009, 2008, embrace who I am, embrace the journey that I'm on, embrace the risks that I take, the pitfalls that I may fall into, the time and the energy and the strength it took to get up, and the brain that I have to learn. All of that one word helped me so much. Embrace. You have to embrace it. And Ayanna Van Zant says you are where you're supposed to be for a reason. Kenneth, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we've already discussed having you back on in future seasons, and you said yes, so I'm holding you to it. I'm sure that the audience enjoyed having you here tonight. I know I sure have, and I know you have so much more to offer. And I want you to take the time right now to just, if people wanted to ask you a question or needed some advice or wanted to just connect with you in any kind of way, how can they reach you? And what's going on, what's getting ready to take place or taking place in your life right now, positively? Of course, it's going to be positive.
Okay, no problem. First of all, I welcome anyone who wants to reach out to me. I do run a mentoring program through sports. Right now, we're currently, the website is under construction, but I do have an email address that you can reach me at. It's D as in Victor, V as in boy, D as in David, C as in Charlie, E as in Echo, O as in Oscar, at gmail.com. And that's Business Dynamics, and it's a mentoring program. One of the things that we're in the process of doing is we're trying to open up a gym where we mentor at-risk kids, both men and, boys and girls. I've got a staff right now of about 25 mentors, and they're eager to have mentees. And we're excited about it.
And I'm excited too. That sounds so good, and I love the fact that you are giving back, and our youth really need it, and our youth needs you, and a lot of us adults do too. So I'm extremely excited, and I want to be taking a look at it too myself. Before you go, I have a question, one more question in the chat room I think that would be best for you to answer. How do you deal with the battle of time when you are waiting for people to trust in you?
How do I deal with, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question right.
The question is, okay, let me pose it as the person. And how do I deal with the battle of time when you're waiting for people to trust in you? Like, how do you deal with the time frame and the space that you're giving others when you're just waiting for them to trust and believe in you?
Well, one of the things you got to understand is you cannot control what other people do, what they think, and how they feel. What you can do is continue to be the best individual that you can and focus on yourself. Those 3 easy steps that I gave you. And then in time, those people will come around. Your actions speak so much louder than anything that you could say. And continue to express and demonstrate love towards those others. Then the Bible tells us to love even your enemy.
Yeah. You're absolutely correct. And you're right. And like you said earlier, people can see when you don't even trust in yourself. So if you don't trust in yourself, or you lack in some sort of way with confidence or love in yourself, people are going to treat you how they see you treat yourself, and they're not going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Well, Kenneth, I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we will definitely see you on future shows. I enjoyed your company, and I appreciate you helping me to motivate our audience, and you've motivated me, and I wish you nothing but love, success, prosperity, and peace in your journey as well. And if you need me in any type of way, please let me know, because I will be there.
I want to thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure being on that show with you. And I'm definitely going to have you come out. I got a lot of young girls that need positive role models.
Well, I'm here, and I would be excited to jump at an opportunity like that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, and you have a wonderful evening.
You too, thank you.
Thanks, bye. Wow. Deep brother, I'm excited that he joined us tonight. I'm excited you joined us tonight. And like he said, you know, love, embrace. Love and embrace. It's like so important. Embrace where you're at. We have difficulties in our lives. We fall short. And one thing I learned was the devil condemns and God convicts. So when you think God is punishing you, he's not trying to keep you down. So the guilt that you feel when you make a mistake, that's not him. He wants you to, he's saying, baby, you made a mistake. I knew you wasn't perfect. I know you're not perfect. I've already said that. I want you to know that I'm here. And there's a way. There's a way out. It's here. I'm just waiting for you to just reach out and grab it. Don't give up on yourself. You cannot give up on yourself. Just like Kenneth said, never give up. So love, embrace, and never give up. Because the second you give up is the second you shut even the other doors that you opened previously when you tried to walk through. So don't take 6 steps back when you've taken, 6 to 7 steps forward. Don't start closing those doors. You have to keep on going and embrace where you are. Sometimes it seems like everything is just falling apart and nothing is working out, and no matter what you try, it's not working. So you start to feel like, okay, I can't trust anyone. I'm not going to forgive this person. I'm not moving on anymore. But that's not the case. It's that maybe those things that you tried wasn't supposed to be the way that you were supposed to go. And not only that, maybe you're in your own way. So sometimes we got to move out of our own ways. And we have to know that God is going to take us and lead us in the way we're supposed to go. So with that being said, I want to thank you all again. And I'm going to also, because we still have to bring on Lynn, my co-host, but I want to play her commercial. For anyone out there who's looking for an extra stream of income, who is looking for a job and feels like they can't find a job anywhere, who loves to travel, who's looking to become a business owner and just needs somewhere to start, this commercial is just for you. And I encourage you to try something new. Try something else.
Welcome to TravelIn.net. Would you like to become your own boss? Have freedom to travel? Do you want more leisure time for yourself and your family? Homemakers, students, hourly employees, people working 80 hours a week just to make ends meet. Are you exhausted with building a nest egg for someone else to reap the benefits? How about being overworked and underpaid? Well, the rat race has come to an end. Become a full-time or part-time certified travel consultant. For more information, go to the website TravelIn.net, click on the opportunity page.
And also, make sure you just check it out. Just look at it. TravelIn.net. That's TravelYN.net. And then click on the opportunities tab. Also, I just want to, let me clarify. Kenneth's, his email address is vbdceo@gmail.com, and that stands for Vision Business Dynamics. So check him out and email him if you have any questions or concerns. So now let me get on the co-host, Lynn, so she can also give us something tonight in her segment, Keeping It Real. Keeping It Real with Lynn.
Hello.
Hi, Lynn. You're on the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So we have everybody. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say hi, everybody.
Oh, there we go. All right. So it's Keeping It Real with Lynn time.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it, and I love the fact that Kenneth mentioned loving yourself, because, you know, that's basically what we talk about, and that's where it starts. And, you know, I talk with so many people who are depressed and just not in a good state because of what someone else said to them or how somebody else feels about them. But you first have to understand that you cannot change how anyone else views you, no matter what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
How good you know you are. You have to stay true to yourself. And as long as you love yourself and you know you're a good person and you know you can be trusted, it doesn't matter whether someone else trusts you, because you're going to show them who you are. When people tell me, Lynn, you can trust me, I'm this type of person, I say, okay, but I'm watching. I'm not only listening to what you're saying, I'm watching what you do. I'm watching how you treat me. I'm watching how, you know, you act with yourself, and I'm watching how you treat other people, and that lets me know whether I can trust you or not. And then, you know, sometimes it's not even a matter of whether I feel like I can trust them. It's you know how to be in someone's company, know who they are, and deal with them like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. And Pat said, I just love this part. You go, girl. Hi, Lynn.
Oh, hi, Pat. Hi, Aunt Pat. How are you? Thanks for always being in the chat room and letting us know what's going up and letting us know your feelings.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, you're absolutely correct. And what I want the audience to know, too, we're not saying go back and trust the same people that hurt you. Of course, we're not saying that. Like Kenneth said, too, he had a situation where his trust, you know, in the person was failed at one point during that situation, and he ended up, you know, going back and having a conversation with the person. It wasn't even, you know, the way he thought it was. It was like a little misunderstanding, but he would have blocked his own blessings. And God knows I've been through that too, where Lynn had to say, and my mom had to say, you know, well, maybe it's not like that. Let's just, maybe you should talk to the person and see which way it goes. And thank God I listened, because was always thinking, and sometimes it still kicks in, that people are trying to hurt me or trying to be funny in some sort of way. But I surrounded myself with positive people who can help redirect me. And if I didn't learn to trust again, I wouldn't have trusted Lynn. I wouldn't have trusted my aunts. I wouldn't trust my mom. I wouldn't trust certain people who could help redirect me. Sometimes it's not the person. Sometimes it's you.
Right. And you know what else? There's certain levels of trust. Because I know I'm around certain people, I know that I can trust them in one way, but not in another way. So I think we just have to understand the levels of trust. And once we understand the levels of trust, it's so easy to get along with people.
That's right.
I know people have done things to me and have lied straight to my face, and it's like, I know the truth. I just want you to tell me the truth in your own words. And they still look me in the eye and lie. It's like, okay, I see you. I still love you, but I see you. And we can still be cool, but the certain level of trust that I know is not going to be there. So for me, I practice being trustworthy. And for me, it doesn't matter if somebody looks at me and says, Lynn, I don't trust you. I don't care if you don't trust me, because I know I'm trustworthy. And so what we're doing as far as the show is, with us and trying to tell everyone else, the audience, trust yourself. It starts within. And if you are the type of person who can't be trusted, you will never trust anybody. You know what I mean?
I love that.
I can trust it. I know I can. I know I can, because I've been tested. And, you know, someone has told me something. Somebody said, well, what they say? I said, you know what? They told me in confidence, and I don't feel comfortable repeating it. If they tell me I can repeat it, I will, but I don't. And it may be somebody who's not even a good friend of mine, but I'm still not going to repeat something that was told to me in confidence. So we all, as human beings, have to practice being trustworthy. And then people know when we're in a conversation or around certain people, we'll know in our hearts who we can trust and who we can't. And like I said, it's certain levels of trust.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I just love everything that you said. I mean, I've learned that too. Number one, I've learned that, you know, be to other people and sow into other people's lives and into your own what you want other people to return back to you, because you reap what you sow. So if you're a liar and you expect other people to be honest with you, you're not going to get that. You're going to get people who lie to you. If you're untrustworthy and you expect people to be loyal to you, you're not going to get that. You're going to get people who you can't trust. So I've learned that too, that I have to be what I want to attract into my life. That's number one. And number two, I have to know that there's certain things I can do with certain people. Now, I might not be able to trust that person who my money around certain people. I have a cousin who I just can't trust. I can't trust leaving my money around her. But one thing I do know is, if I was ever being harmed in some type of way, she would drop what she's doing and be the first person there to make sure that I'm safe. So I can trust her loyalty when it comes to that. But I would never leave my purse around her.
Right, then that's what I mean by certain levels of trust.
Right.
And as long as you have that, it's so easy to deal with people on their level.
Yes.
Everyone is not going to be on your level.
Yes. Everyone is on different levels.
Right. You deal with people accordingly, and I'm the same way. There's certain levels of trust that I have with certain people. I still love them, but I know in this area you can't be trusted. Still love you, but you can't be trusted.
That's right. And guess what? You know, that's the same thing in relationships. Because you become a friend with someone, and I've made this mistake too, because you see someone and they're a good friend, it doesn't automatically mean, for my people out there who think that, you know, every relationship means that you can enter into a romantic relationship or intimate relationship with somebody. Just because they're a good friend doesn't mean that they'll be a good mate or a good spouse or a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend. It does not mean that. It just means that maybe you are supposed to be friends with this person. And so when you take it to a different level, then it messes up. You're hurt. You say things that hurt that person or do things that hurt that person, and you're hurting each other back and forth, and that was never what the relationship should have even been. You know, and same thing, some people may just be meant to be associates or business partners, and then you make them a friend, someone that you would begin hanging with every day, and then they start to see things about you that they just are uncomfortable about, or you see things about them you're uncomfortable about, and now they don't even want to do business with you. Some things are supposed to be left at a certain level. It's not always about taking it to another level. So then distrust happens. You go, I'm never going to deal with a person like this again, even in business, because look what happened to me. We wasn't even supposed to step out those boundaries.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that point up, because, you know, I know people who have said, you know, I dealt with this type of person, so I'm never going to deal with that type of person again. We're all individuals. And you can't look at one person or one race or, you know, one guy or one woman and say, well, you remind me of so-and-so, so I already know you, because you don't. You know, it takes time to get to know someone. You handle people accordingly until you reach a certain level where you've been in their company, you've been in certain situations, and now, you know, and even then, you get to a certain level and you think everything is cool, they do an about face, and it's like a shock.
That's right.
So, you know, so you just always have to be aware and understand that we're all human, we all make mistakes, and my thing is, you know, you make a mistake, if you consider someone a friend, just be honest about it and say, you know what, I messed up. I really want to be friends with you. I thought we were cool. We were having a good time, and, you know, I made a mistake. And then you work from there. If you can't go to the person and honestly say, I was wrong, then you need to take a look in the mirror and you need to do some more work.
That's right. And so now we at 8:59, Lynn. What do you want to say to the audience about their journey to trusting again?
Okay, this was a really hard one, because I guess I struggled too. I just want to say, learn how to trust yourself, and I say it over and over and over again. Learn how to love yourself, and if you're a believer, let God be the head. Let God be the head, and let His will be done. As I started saying, Lord, let Your will be done, not my will, and I surrender and I give it all to Him, things are flowing the way they're supposed to be, because I am not trying to be in control. If you feel you want to be in control, if it's working for you, fine, but it doesn't work for me.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
It all starts from within.
Well, Lynn, thank you. That was Keeping It Real with Lynn. We always appreciate you, and Lynn will be back here every week. We have 2 more weeks.
Thank you, everybody, and tune in to my website and go to traveling.net and check it out and hit me up. You can call me or go online and leave me a message in my inbox. Okay? Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
And that was Keeping It Real with Lynn. And I see you, cousin Bravado Gray. Thank you for being here and always supporting and retweeting all of my flyers and all of my announcements. I want you to know that you are appreciated, and that was a special shout out for you. So we've heard so many suggestions, tips, real life things regarding trusting again. I know that it was brief because we only had an hour. How do you put everything into 1 hour? But I hope this helps you along in your journey. We're here to help you. We have 2 more shows in this whole theme of unleashing your power within. Number 1, know that God is not far. He is in you. So that's why you should trust yourself. That's why you should love yourself, because guess what? It's not hard. He's not far. He's in you. Tap into the real you on the inside. Thank you, everyone. Special shout out again to my son for this wonderful song that he has done. He is working on his music. Also, don't forget January 2015 on mtaclifestyle.webs.com. That's my website. It's http mtaclifestyle.webs.com. There you'll find my books, you'll find all different blogs, and you'll find the Sequoia show. There are going to be videos posted up that's going to help you even after the show. But January 2015, where it is now a coaching tab, is going to be changed to MTAC University. I'm going to have different classes there for you. I'm being inspired. I'm creating them and working on them now, and it's going to be about various topics, but they're all going to be categorized. It's expensive, I know, nowadays to go to attend courses and go to colleges and stuff like that. Sometimes you just need somebody to teach it to you simple, somebody you can relate to. Well, I'm here, I'm creating them courses. It's going to be MTAC University. Thank you. Wear my shirt at iwearmyshirt.com for my wonderful Sequoia show shirt and hand towel. Thank you, Kim Sewell, for the flyers. Thank you, chat room. Thank you, audience. We'll be here again, same time, same place next week. Look out for the flyers. Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2 more shows left. 2 more. So make sure you're there. Love you, and you all, please, have a good night. Special thanks again to Kenneth Holman and my co-host, Lynn Robinson. Love you.
Okay, welcome to the Sequoia show. Yeah, the Sequoia show. I said, welcome to the Sequoia show. Look, the Sequoia show. Okay, welcome to the Sequoia show. Yeah, the Sequoia show. She's the original individual, metaphysical, speaking to her spiritual. Thoughts are way too critical. She creating miracles. Promise she gon' get to you. Only affected by a few. Beginning to her chronicles. Maybe we'll get logical. Logically, she probably tell the truth through honesty. Welcome to the show. Y'all family.
Y'all family.
Y'all family.
Thank you, family. Again, that was Tiaje Tajin, the artist, my son. He did the theme song for the show. Love you. See you next week.